Good morning, Lily.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You're so fresh as a daisy on a Sunday morning.
Thank you. Yeah, I got like 10 hours of sleep.
That's good.
That's like my minimum. That's what I need.
Do you sleep throughout, or do you
No,
wake up?
I wake up a couple times, but
Me too.
sleep pretty well.
And our dogs bark a lot. Bark too much.
Oh, but you have dogs, so.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true. So it's not about me. It's about Hustlers. Such a great movie.
Thank you.
Like drama, emotional, funny, sexy. I keep saying this, and I'm just gonna say it. I get Scorsese vibes. Like,
Wow.
It's like a Goodfellas, like
Yeah, that was definitely inspirational.
Jennifer Ramona is the Godfather.
Yeah. Yeah, Laureen, when I first talked to her about the movie, she told me that Goodfellas was a really big
Oh, really?
inspiration for it. Yeah, and I was like, that makes sense.
So did you know anything about this story at all before you were approached?
I actually didn't. So when I read the article, I was reading it with fresh eyes, and when I read the script, it was, the first time hearing of this story. So I definitely hadn't known about it before, which made it all the more interesting.
So how do you even start prepping? You're going from Riverdale to stripper.
Yeah, I mean, there was overlap between Riverdale and Hustlers.
In terms of the characters?
No, in terms of shooting. I was still shooting Riverdale when I started Hustlers, so I had to fly back and forth from New York to Vancouver.
That's a mind.
But not really, because they're so vastly different that it didn't really feel like it's quite easy to transition between the two. I feel like if the characters were more similar, it would be harder.
That makes sense, yeah.
But because they're so different and the environments are so different and the looks were so different, it was actually quite easy to differentiate between the two.
So do you meet with real strippers, or do you just really study the story, or do you sit down with the writer?
I mean, I think Laureen was my biggest source of help. I talked to her quite a bit about the character and what she wanted. And I was kind of nervous at first because I hadn't done a movie part for a while. So I after each day on set, the first few days, I was like, was that okay? Was that what you wanted? Like, is that in the vein of what you're thinking for this girl? And she was like, yes, absolutely. Just trust your instincts. Like, you're doing exactly what I want you to do. So she was very comforting. And I think prep-wise, I mean, I don't really do too much to prep. Things just mostly happen in the moment when I'm on set. So, I mean, I obviously think about the character and who I want her to be,
Right.
but I, kind of go off what the director wants from me.
And the thing is that I keep telling people, I'm like, it's not a stripper movie. Like, I think people are going to think that it's just, oh, there's the Riverdale star stripping and showing everything.
There
like
she is.
But it's not, it's so much more than
Yeah,
that.
it is.
It's
And-
really, what I say, it's a story of survival and chosen family.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, you're going to judge a book by its cover and be like, okay, this movie's about strippers. And even when I got the script sent to me and looked at the log line, I was like, oh God, what is this? Do I want to be involved in this? And then reading the script, it's so much more, and it's such an actual story. And I actually don't think that it's a movie about strippers, about stripping. It's a movie about women and what leads them to do what they do. So, it's not even about stripping as a performing art.
Right.
It's more so just about the women. So, and that's wonderful.
What do you think the movie says about survival?
I mean, I think that, especially in Ramona and Destiny's case, you do what you need to do for your kids. And in Annabelle's case, I think she got swept along into the scheme that they're in because she's quite young and naive, and I think easily persuaded because her family kicked her out of her house when they found out what she was doing. So I think she really relied on these older women to show her the ropes, and she was very easily kind of brought into it. But I think when it comes to survival, I don't know, you have to do what you have to do, I guess. But I'm not justifying what they did in any sense at all, but I think they were blinded by what they were doing because of their need to live and their need to support themselves. So,
Do you like these women?
I do, because you do root for them.
Yeah.
You really do.
It's this weird thing because you're rooting for them. There were parts where I was rooting for them, like
Yeah.
when the guy jumped off the the house.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh my God, I hope this works out for them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I talking about?
Well, yeah, it's crazy because they are doing these awful situations, but the way that the story is told, you feel for them. So you don't really look at them as the bad guys, even though they are. You see them as women who are just trying to get by and doing what they feel that they need to in order to, like you said, survive. So yeah, they are the bad guys, but you're seeing them through the lens of reality and through women just trying to survive at that time.
And talk about the first time you met Jennifer Lopez.
I met her, the first time I shot with her was the last scene in the movie where you see us all together in the jail cell. So I think that's where I met her. I was in jail with her, and I'm like sitting in the corner, and she's in the scene. Kind of, there was a moment where she came and was like touching my hand. She was like, "It's gonna be okay." Like she was very like into the scene before it even started, which was really sweet. And she was just very warm and like a mama bear. That's what I call her. She really is like very. She just has a very caring personality, and she's very sweet.
And talk about the force of Jennifer Lopez. This is a woman who said, no, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want to do.
The force of Jennifer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's been in the industry for such a long time, and she's such an icon. But I really try not to look at her that way. I mean, she's my co-star, and she knows what she's doing, and she's incredibly talented. And I really admired the way that she came to set, so prepared and so on it, and she like really knew who her character was. I mean, she's just a badass, and she just gets it, and she's really wonderful to work with, and to watch her work is really. I mean, I felt honored to be there, and I got to sit on her lap in a scene, so that's pretty great.
So do you like use that at restaurants? Like, I need a table. I sat on Jennifer Lopez's lap.
Sure, I will use that next time I don't get in. Like, I don't know if you know who I am, but I sat on J-Lo's lap, so.
Let's talk a little bit about Riverdale.
Okay.
How many seasons do you see it going?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe 6 or 7. Because the kids are graduating from high school and are season 4, so I'm not sure. I think, it's once they get out of high school, I don't know where.
Do you go to Riverdale Community College?
I hope not. I really hope not. I hope there's better things for Betty coming up.
What do you see for yourself in the future?
For myself?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I was really lucky to do this film. Sarah Schechter, who's one of the executive producers of Riverdale, is really close friends with Laureen Scafari, our director. And so she was a huge force in allowing me to do this movie and at the same time as Riverdale. And I think I'm just so lucky that I was able to be a part of it. And I think future-wise, I'm trying to do as many films as I can on my hiatus from Riverdale, like no sleep, no rest for the wicked, but that's how I want it to be. I think film is really where my passion lies, and I love filmmakers, and I think I like what Jeff Bridges says, where it's like every role he takes is a 180 from the last role he played. And I think that's a really good way to look at your career, because you got to keep it interesting and play as many people as you can. So.